Welcome. I want to talk about videos that a lot of YouTubers have already talked about. That is about Uber Eats fuel assistance program that they came out with. So let's look at what they're actually offering. So they're offering 45 cents, and I noticed based on watching some of the YouTubers, it looks like it's almost throughout the whole country the same prices. The prices might vary maybe in New York and Los Angeles, but pretty much everywhere else across the country, the price probably will be around 45 cents for food delivery and 55 cents for Uber taxi services like driving somebody to airport or to their destination. So if you look at 45 cents per order, doesn't really makes it attractive. It almost looks like, are they really making fun of us? Are they trying to give another slap to our face? Are they trying to disrespect us? But end of the day, it's actually how interesting that those numbers do actually so far line up with prices as we see today. And in order for you guys to understand that, I will actually go into some calculations, give you guys example based on my numbers. Now, every single person numbers are different, so you can actually take example of how I calculate my numbers and see how you can calculate your numbers and see how realistic that is in your situation. So, an example when I did Uber Eats and Doordash, and I'm going to combine those as if it was a one company, even though we all know it's not. And DoorDash pays way cheaper on most of the deliveries compared to Uber. But we'll, combine it because I never did get enough of order on Uber alone, so I can actually do a full calculation on Uber. So on my average, I would drive about 200 to 300 miles a day. I would do in those 2 to 300 miles, I would do about 20 deliveries, which would give me roughly about $200 of earnings. So they're paying us at 45 cents per delivery. So we're actually going to go and do 45 cents, and we're going to multiply by 20 deliveries. That is average on majority full-time drivers that actually do, unless you're doing short deliveries and you're taking smaller paid orders, you might actually do more deliveries. On my situation, it was about 20 deliveries. So 45 cents, 20 deliveries. That gives me a $9 compensation based on Uber temporary fuel assistance program. $9 for a $200 to $300 day. Not doesn't sound. It's too. Jeez, my phone. It is 3 o'clock. Everybody's trying to post something, and this might actually go out 2 or 3 times. So that comes out to $9 a day. So let's actually right now take that $9 a day and divide. I'm gonna divide the smaller side because you guys also know I do commute quite a bit to everywhere I'm dashing. So we're gonna go with a smaller number with the 200 miles, which I believe a majority drivers out there probably drive to make $200 to do 20 delivery. They're probably driving between the 100 to 150, 200 miles. Depends where you're at and how rural or condensed your market is. So we're going to take 200 miles, or yeah, 200 miles, and we're going to divide by that $9. I'm sorry, not wrong, wrong. Take $9 and divide it by 200. Oh, jeez. So $9 divided by the 200 miles, and we're going to get an answer of 4.5 cents a mile. That is what Uber is compensating us for every single mile that you're going to drive depends on what is your actual mile that you will drive through the day for those 20 deliveries. And I want to actually introduce you guys to something else. And every video that you go to mine, you will find in the description sections. When you get there, it's going to look something like this. Um, Learn to be successful at a gig apps, show more. And under Doordash, which now I have to change it probably to gig work, there's going to be a second link called link to Google Sheet to make a copy to calculate your vehicle cost. You click on it, you'll be able to get to a screen that just looks like this, where from there you'll be able to go and make a copy and be able to make a copy to your Google account, and from there you'll be able to change these things. um, what I actually have here. Okay, this is also my cheat sheet for DoorDash, where the hidden tips are. So you'll be able to get a copy of both of those. So first section I talk in that sheet is about rental vehicles. If you want to rent the vehicles, what you kind of would put in your daily rental fee, including insurance, fuel cost per gallon, which right now is $4. So we can update $4. Average daily mileage driven, which we were talking about $3. And depends what is your vehicle average fuel cost per mile, which if I drive in town it kind of drops to about 35. We If you lease in a vehicle, you can calculate that based on that as well here. But my situation, I own a vehicle, and majority of you guys own your vehicle, and you will be calculating using these numbers. Let me increase that. I think I increased too much. So, owning a vehicle, a lot of this information is still valid. Might slightly change because the vehicle does depreciate it as well as I do drive miles. And my vehicle right now is due for a 200,000 maintenance, which is flashing brake fluid, flashing coolant in both systems. That's an engine as well and an inverter. Also, transmission fuel change, as well as I'm having a front right strut that's going out that I might as well replace all four, as well as brakes are about 10 to 20%, so need to replace all of them, as well as front rotors. So kind of, my car is coming to a point where I need to put some money into it. But we're not going to play with this sheet too much. I'll take it as I had it before. So, as I had it before, $3 a mile, $3 per gallon. That would actually costing me about 300. Let's change this to 200 since we use the same calculation. So my cost is 32 cents before. Now the price went up to $4, which price went up right now to 34 cents per mile. But if we look at calculator, Uber is compensating me 4.5 cents. That means I am getting an extra 2.5 cents on top of what I used to pay when we were at $3. Let's say my price went up to $5 from $3. Right now I am 3.7, and was what? So now that would actually takes me at $5 would actually cost me 5 cents. So until my fuel gets to about 475, I'm a equal break even or getting ahead with the Uber compensation. Now, another way to actually save and actually take advantage of that fuel compensation is actually taking shorter distance deliveries. Making sure that you or they are stacking by stacking with multiple apps or stacking with Uber. So any of those situations with including a fuel compensation, you will be coming ahead as long as your fuel are below $1.75 increase from about 3 months ago. That's the way I look at it, and that's the way that the reality is. A lot of people calculate various different ways, but I wanted to actually bring you based on your actual cost per mile compared to what they're actually compensating you per mile, based on average your miles driven per day, and you can go through, all these costs here. I'm pretty sure I covered majority of it. If I miss something, let me know. I can update the sheet. But I'm pretty sure if you take this calculation, you realize what is your true real cost, and you look at what is Uber compensating, you most likely are ahead, unless you're living like in California, where the price right now is at five, six, $7. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, if you did not understand and you want me to actually go over this one more time, but do watch this video maybe two, three, four times to understand it. If you don't understand it, if you disagree with something, I definitely would like to hear about it. But end of the day, if Uber continues updating their fuel compensation based on everything else, and of course they're not compensating for inflation, they are compensating only for fuel. As we go back and we look at it's a temporary fuel assistance. It's not for inflation. Well, fuel assistance. Yes, on inflation side we are losing. On inflation side, nobody's compensating us as of now yet. But at least on a fuel side, we're getting compensated. It's on temporary basis, as they said somewhere right there. We plan to reevaluate the situation in 60 days. That means they're suspecting that the fuel not going to go too much higher than what it is already at in the next 30 days. But I guess if the situation gets out of hand, they might reconsider this earlier than in 60 days and try to compensate it more. Now, simple question to all of you. Would a customer actually care about that 45 cents that they're paying extra? I can tell you 99.9% of the customer won't even notice it because it's a quick, small change. People, those that actually even pay attention to the dollar amount, they'll consider that as a tax increase. They don't even notice that actually Uber increased. That's why Uber doing this small amount. If they would have did $1 or a $2 increase, it would be noticeable. I've been at one of the restaurants, and the restaurant complained about how uh, their concentrated Coke product has actually doubled and tripled in price over the last 2 years, and they're still charging the same amount for the buffet price. And I said, hey, you cannot afford cutting cutting into your employees' hourly wage to compensate for that Coke price. You need to pay a fair price amount to your employees. At the same time, charge a fair price to your customers. That means everything has changed over the period of the last 2 years since an event has started. And you need to compensate. And since you already opened up and you introduced the same price, you need to hike the price up 50 cents every month. And for the next 6 months, you'll increase $3 on the menu, as well as you'll be able to right now pay more to your employees, as well as be able to compensate for that Coke product. And customers over the period of 6 months at 50 cents increase at a time won't even notice that $3 increase in 6 months, period. And that is the truth, and that is the fact. And that is actually what we see Uber's doing. They're taking a 50 cents, 45 cents, 55 cents. We can average that to 50 cents between two services. They're doing a 50 cents increase to compensate you and I. So let's say in 30 days, they decide to do another 50 cents increase, customers won't notice. And tell me, customers, don't you agree with me? It is simple as that. So enjoy that increase, be appreciative, and I know Grubhub did something very similar to that. Will DoorDash do that? I wish they did. But looking at the history of DoorDash, they want to be that Chinese company. They want to be that AliExpress that you can go and buy food and delivery at dirt cheap. So, have prices increased at AliExpress? Probably not. So, I doubt DoorDash will do something to increase here as well. But I might be wrong, and I hope they prove me wrong. I want to say be blessed every single one of you, and be wise and be smart. Take shorter distance deliveries with better pay. Take advantage of that 45 cents increase for every single order and make your bottom line increase over time so that different what you had before and right now on that bottom line can compensate for inflation. Because I personally believe things might get tougher and harder as we move forward. See, we've reached the peak. Let me do this. We reached the peak in industry development and luxury of life. I know a lot of us have not even seen that luxury, but some have, and now I think is the time of turnaround. When you reach a peak, it starts coming down. Now it has to rebalance. But before rebalance, things will get harder before it will get better. Because those that are at the top, they'll fight for everything they have not to lose that luxury. We at the bottom that actually servicing those that are at the top, we want to still make a living. So as everything starts rebalancing and as the universe rebalances itself and force us to rebalance as well, things will get harder before it gets better. So I wish every single one of you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and blessing so you can get through these tough times as they come and survive and make it to the top. Be blessed.